What is going on, YouTube? Thank you for joining me. Another Master Duel video. We're going to be talking about some of the best staples that you should consider getting in Master Duel.
Now's the time.
My ever-faithful companion, Dark Magician!
I wouldn't have been victorious had it not been for the help of my cards and my friends. Thank you.
What is going on, YouTube? Thank you for joining me. Before we get started in today's video, I wanted to take a moment to let you know that we are hosting 5 free entry tournaments with cash prizes every week, streamed live on Twitch. To participate in these tournaments, all you have to do is be in the Discord, link in the description. New player helpers are there to give you advice. If you have any questions or you need advice from myself, come join a stream. Link in the description. We are streaming live on Twitch 5 or sometimes 6 days a week. We'll see you there. To start the list, we have DD Crow. You can discard this card to then target one card in the opponent's graveyard and banish it. So if someone has, they have like a Stone of the Ancient or Stone of Legend in their graveyard, you can use the DD Crow and it'll banish it, so it can't activate its effect in the graveyard. I'm not a Blue Eyes player. Effect Veiler. You can discard this card and target one effect monster your opponent controls and negate the effects of that monster until the end of the turn. Droll and Lockbird, another hand trap. We're starting off with all hand traps here, and these aren't in any particular order. Droll and Lockbird is good against, I believe, Virtual World. So what it does is you discard a card, and you discard when your opponent adds a card to their hand from the deck. You discard the Droll and Lockbird, and then they're not able to add any more cards to their hand. You side this against Virtual World, they basically just stop. Max C, you can play it at 3. Anyway, during either player's turn, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard. Each time your opponent special summons a monster, you can draw 1 card. So basically what this does is when you activate it, it stops your opponent from special summoning anymore, because the more they special summon, you're gonna draw cards. They don't want you to draw cards. Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, you can discard it and negate any of these effects, adding a card from the deck to the hand, special summoning from the deck, or sending a card from the deck to the graveyard. Skull Meister, when a card effect is activated in your opponent's graveyard, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard, negate the effect. Nibiru, the Primal Being, during the main phase, if your opponent normal or special summoned 5 or more monsters this turn, you contribute as many face-up monsters on the field as possible, and if you do, special summon the Nibiru from your hand. Then special summon 1 Primal Being token to your opponent's field. So basically it's a board wiper. Oh, I don't know, why didn't we put Kaijus in here? We gotta put Kaiju in here. Moving on. Dark Hole. Obviously destroy all monsters on the field. Harpy's Feather Duster, destroy all spell and traps your opponent controls. And we have Reinforcement of the Army, add 1 level 4 or lower warrior monster from your deck to your hand. Pot of Desires, banish 10 cards from the top of your deck, face down, draw 2 cards. You can only activate 1 per turn. The worst is drawing into 1 after you've done that. So you banish 10 cards and you draw your other Pot of Desires. Pot of Extravagance. At the start of your main phase, 1, banish 3 or 6 random face down cards from your extra deck face down. Draw 1 card for every 3 banished cards. For the rest of the turn, you cannot draw any cards for any effect. Interesting. Lightning Storm, you could destroy all attack position monsters your opponent controls, or you could destroy all spell and traps your opponent controls. You can only activate one per turn. Next we have Triple Tactic Talent. If your opponent has activated a monster effect during your main phase this turn, activate one of these two effects. You can draw 2 cards, or you can take control of one of your opponent's monsters until the end phase. Or you could also, there's a third effect. That's why it's triple. Look at your opponent's hand and choose 1 card from it to shuffle into the deck. You can only activate 1 Triple Tactics talent per turn. Next is Pot of Prosperity. Banish 3 or 6 cards from your extra deck face down for the rest of the turn. After this card resolves, any damage your opponent takes is halved. Also, excavate cards from the top of your deck equal to the number of cards banished, and add 1 excavated card to your hand. Place the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. After that, you won't be able to draw cards by card effects the turn you activate it. Simple one, Mystical Space Typhoon. Target 1 spell or trap on the field, destroy that target. And Book of Moon. Duel Links players are going to think, wait, what? This is just a regular R card? It's a regular rare? Target 1 face-up monster on the field. Change that monster to face-down defense position. Here's another one. Duel Links players will know. Forbidden Chalice. Target 1 face-up monster on the field until the end of this turn. That target gains 400 attack, but its effects are negated. And next we have Called by the Grave. I got this nice prismatic foil, whatever it is. I'm not sure what we're calling it. Target 1 monster in your opponent's graveyard. Banish it. And if you do, until the end of the next turn, its effects are negated, as well as the activated effects and the effects on the field of monsters with the same original name. Very interesting. You know, I always use its first effect, but I never thought to think of its second effect there. Here we have Cross Out Designator. Declare 1 card name. Banish 1 of that declared card from your main deck, and if you do, negate its effects, as well as the activated effects and effects on the field of cards with the same original name until the end of this turn. Now, I know that was a whole bunch of mumbo jumbo, and you might not be able to understand that. So basically what it means is, say I was playing Dark Magician and I summon Magician's Rod. Then I would search the deck and add the Magician's Salvation or the Dark Magical Circle to my hand. My opponent could respond with an Ash Blossom, and then I would respond to the Ash Blossom with a Cross Out Designator. The Cross Out Designator would banish an Ash Blossom from my banish the Ash Blossom from my deck, and I would negate their Ash Blossom, allowing the Rod to go through. A little bit going on the budget side here. We have, for free-to-play players, Torrential Tribute, Bottomless Trap Hole. Let's go back to the Torrential Tribute. Torrential Tribute, when a monster is summoned, destroy all monsters on the field. So it's risky, but could help. Bottomless Trap Hole. When your opponent summons a monster with 1500 or more attack, destroy that monster. And if you do, banish it. Needle Ceiling. When there are 4 or more monsters on the field, destroy all face-up monsters. The next we have Compulsory Evacuation Device. Target 1 monster on the field, return that target to the hand. 3 bounce, no cost, evenly matched. At the end of the battle phase, if your opponent controls more cards than you do, you can make your opponent banish cards from their field face down so they control the same number of cards as you do. If you control no cards, you can activate this card from your hand. That was the evenly matched. Now we've got Infinite Impermanence. Before we even talk about the Infinite Impermanence, when you play with Crossout Designator, I would play 3 Crossout Designators, 2 Ash Blossoms, 2 Infinite Impermanences, and 2 Effect Veilers. Those all seem to be the most common hand traps that you would want to negate. So you're looking to negate them trying to negate you. I know it sounds negate, but you know, I hope that makes sense. Moving on with Infinite Impermanence. Target one monster your opponent controls, negate its effects until the end of this turn. Then, if this card was set before its activation and is on the field at resolution, for the rest of this turn, all other spell or trap effects in this column are negated. If you control no card, you can activate this card from your hand. If you set the... Let's do it this way. Say I set the Infinite Impermanence, and I'm playing against Dark Magician. I know I always do this. They summon a Magician's Rod to go to search the circle. No, I'm sorry. To search the Salvation. Doesn't matter. It could be either or. They search the Salvation, and I negate it with the Infinite Impermanence. Then say they follow up with activating a Dark Magical Circle right behind that rod. The column behind the rod would be destroyed. Would be negated. Anything in that column. So the columns are the 5 spaces. I burned my finger, so ignore that. The columns are the 5 zones. Your 5 monster zones, your 5 spell and trap zones. Those are all columns. I was just playing against someone and I impermed them, and then they activated their card into the imperm zone, and they basically lost the duel because of that. Otherwise, they could have won. Next, we have Ice Dragon's Prison. Target one monster in your opponent's graveyard, special summon it to your field, but its effects are negated. Then you can banish one monster from both players' fields that have the same type as each other. You can, you don't have to. Now, this is good when your opponent is using an archetype that has all the same types of monsters. And we have Solemn Judgment. When a monster would be summoned or a spell or trap card is activated, pay half your life points, negate the summoning or activation, and if you do, destroy that card. Next we have Imperial Order. Negate all spell effects on the field once per turn. During the standby phase, you must pay 700 life points. This is not optional, or this card is destroyed. Oh wow, we skipped it. Next we have Rivalry of the Warlords. I haven't been using this one as much anymore, but this one, each player can only control one type of monster. Send all other face-up monsters they control to the graveyard. There's certain decks that if you side this against them, it's over. I forget which ones. I'm gonna laugh at me. We're getting back into it. I was playing a lot of TCG, and then I started focusing mainly on streaming a lot of Duel Links, but we're gonna get back into it. But Rivalry of the Warlords, definitely a good card to have in your side deck. Skill Drain, I use this in my Dark Magician my Dark Magician deck. Activate the card. Activate it by paying 1,000 life points. Negate the effects of all face-up monsters while they are face-up on the field. Their effects can still be activated, so you can still pay cost, but they're just negated. Goes in match. Each player can only control one attribute of monster. Send all other face-up monsters they control to the graveyard. And finally, for my list of main deck staples, honorable mention, Kaijus. I'll see if we can look them up at the end. Crackdown. Activate by targeting one face-up monster your opponent controls. Take control of that monster. While you control that monster, it cannot attack or activate effects. When that monster leaves the field, destroy this card. So you take control of your opponent's monster, and you can do whatever you want with it. Use it to link summon, tribute it, fusion. Let's see if I can spell kaiju. I spelled kaiju. Here's your kaijus. Gamma Seal. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Oh, I even have one. I have a Thunder King, the Lightning Strike. This is one popular. This is a popular one people use. The Gadara. I don't know how I'm saying this. Gadarla. And so basically, what these do is you can special summon the card from your hand to your opponent's side of the field in attack position by tributing one monster they control. If your opponent has some kind of big, beefy boss monster or something that can't be targeted or can't be destroyed or whatever, you can kaiju it, if you will. That's what they call it. You kaiju it. You tribute. It's like a lava golem. You tribute your opponent's monster to special summon that. For the extra deck, I wasn't going to put too much focus on it, but here's some quick things. Basically, it's a Nightmare package. Nightmare Cerberus. Let's see. If it's link summon, you can discard one card, then target one special summon monster in your opponent's main monster zone, destroy it. Then if this card was co-linked when this effect is activated, you can draw one card. It's interesting. Nightmare Phoenix. If this card is link summoned, you can discard one card, then target one spell or trap your opponent controls, destroy it. Then if this card was co-linked when this effect was activated, you can draw a card. And we have Nightmare Unicorn. If this card is link summoned, you can discard one card, then target one card in the field and shuffle it into the deck. Then if the Nightmare Unicorn was co-linked when the effect was activated, you can draw a card, one card. You can only use the effect once per turn. While any co-linked monsters are on the field for your normal draw in your draw phase, draw one card for each different card name among those co-linked nightmare monsters, instead of just drawing one card. So for every nightmare that you have co-linked when you have the Nightmare Unicorn on the field, draw an extra card. This was supposed to be just a video about main deck staples that you might be interested in. I thought it might be good to throw those extra deck ones in there. I'll probably have a whole video about more extra deck staples that you might be interested in and that I would recommend. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, consider subscribing. If you're still here, we're hosting, I probably said in the video, but I'll say it again, we're hosting 5 free entry tournaments a week, cash prizes. Join the Discord, over 800 members in the Discord, active community. We're doing 5 to 6 live streams a week. We'll see you there.